Hello, everyone. We are doing hybrid teaching for understanding sports education, student self-determined motivation, and physical education critique. My name is Jordan Eatwell.
I'm Easton Garcia.
And I'm Robert Miller.
And our advising professor was Dr. Yu of Metro State University of Denver. So today we're going to just discuss the purpose, methods, and major findings of the article, the strengths, weakness, and benefits, the limitations, and suggestions and discussions at the end of it.
So just kind of an introduction to the study. It was a study that explored the effects of hybrid teaching model between the teaching games for understanding model and the sport education model. The teaching games for understanding model, basically you're teaching the game, the rules of the game, the tactics of the game, and prioritizing the cognitive learning before the psychomotor learning. And the sports education model, the hybrid model focuses on student gender and produces more adaptive outcomes.
So the purpose of this study was to investigate motivational outcomes between two models of teaching, and that was comparing traditional methods of teacher-guided learning to a hybrid teaching game for understanding style of learning or teaching. So for methods, 292 fifth grade students and 6 teachers across 4 schools partook in this study. A quasi-experimental design with pre-interventions and post-interventions was used. Participants filled out questionnaires that covered 5 factors: A, autonomy support; B, basic psychological needs; C, autonomous motivation; D, relationship goals; and E, physical education satisfaction.
Before the intervention took place, a group of teachers took 6 lessons over 3 weeks, obtaining knowledge and fully understanding the teaching game for understanding model. And then another group of students did not take any kind of training and continued with their direct instruction. And once the trainings were done, then the pre-intervention measures were taken. The intervention for hybrid unit took place. After the intervention was complete, data on this organization, on team organization, team festivity, team originality, and fair play were taken on top of game points collected.
In the hybrid lesson, teachers are observers as students take control of their teams. So essentially it's very student-centered, and they just let their students take control of how their teams are going to be and how the games are going to go. The teachers help initiate conversations through questionnaires that cover autonomy support, BPN, autonomous motivation, friendship goals, and PE satisfaction. The data collectively shows the importance of physical and social skills along with learning skills specific to a basketball game. So essentially it's just adding all spectrum of the sport into it, which is essentially what teaching game for understanding and sports education model is. In direction, the teachers have control of everything, and there is not a lot of opportunity for creative freedom for the students. So it's kind of like our typical PE class back in the day where the teachers just led all the lessons and it was just skills, and there wasn't a whole lot of being able to go into different roles. Everyone had to do the exact same things at the exact same time. And then students filled out the same questionnaires as those in hybrid class. The data from this group showed performance records and a public scoring system as the main form of information.
So for major findings and conclusions, we found that the hybrid TGFU/SE unit can be implemented to provoke significant improvements in students' self-determined motivation. The hybrid model promoted an autonomy, supportive, inclusive, and equitable PE environment. The results demonstrated that all students, regardless of gender and/or content focus within the unit, have opportunities to increase engagement, enjoyment, and social interaction within their PE lessons.
So some strengths, weaknesses, and benefits of the study is that it had a large sample size with having 4 schools, 12 classes, and 6 teachers. allows a whole variety of different, just different population and backgrounds that you can hit in a study. They use valid and reliable instruments. Like, had a lot of qualitative tools to help just measure everything as accurate as they could be. Established allegiance with the teaching gains for understanding model. Afterwards, they found out that teachers love that model and want to use it more in their classes, and especially through the interventions that they had before the study. It just created a whole brand new understanding for them. And then the focus on student gender. So not previously before this study, student gender wasn't a main factor or something that was totally studied at all when it came to both of these models. So hybriding this and then focusing on student gender helped create an equitable learning environment. So boys and girls have the same experience and playing time. And then it kind of eliminates the whole like boys taking on the leadership roles and constantly playing all the time and just undermining the girls' engagement. So this kind of found that it creates equitable opportunities for both genders. And then some limitations for it is only one hybrid season was observed. So they couldn't see the lasting effect of motivation that the hybrid model has for students. It captured more data on motivation and performance. So there wasn't as much to see about how students' motivation can predict the outcome variables of the study. They're more in-depth insights on motivation, so collecting more quantitative data, while qualitative is still very strong to use. There wasn't a whole lot of quantitative that could have helped increase the success of the study. And then lastly is more robust assessment, just making sure maybe that similar studies should offer more assessment of the success of the hybrid model, since there is limited amount of assessment that occurred during this.
Some suggestions. The learning environment that encourages student choice and initiative taking further promotes their confidence in and commitment to their learning in PE. The student must perceive that their teacher supports their autonomy. So basically, the teacher's encouraging the students. And then the boys and girls responded equally to the hybrid teaching unit.
And that's our presentation. Thank you for listening and hope you enjoyed.